Peace, peace, peace. What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Back again. I seem to be going every other day. That's what it looked like. You know, give myself a day to, I don't know, prepare for the whatever I'm gonna talk about the next time. It's just a talk. I'm just gonna stab at things little by little. You know what I'm saying? Let me see something. I wanna share this out. What is it doing? I don't know. Must don't want me to share today. Yeah, but peace. Okay. I wrote the title of what I was gonna stab at today is astronomy, and astrology. I guess talk a little bit about the taboo aspect of it. It being being taboo in a lot of our culture, especially our religious culture, our religious upbringing and indoctrination. Throughout our lives, we've been taught to look at astronomy and astrology as taboo. We ain't supposed to mess with it. As well as certain forms of divination, because I guess usage of cards and things of that, cards and things of that nature are considered taboo and connected to astronomy and astrology. I can only really speak on my experiences, with it and on it, etc. But for the most part, in my religion, Islam, we have been prohibited of using astrology and astronomy in certain ways. But through me thinking more outside of the box, I've come to realize that astronomy is used to for us to know when the time, the month cycles, every month, the moon cycles. We use that to determine what month it is and when the month. Smooth Independent, peace. I appreciate that. Yeah, we use astronomy for that, and most other cultures use astronomy for knowing the moon cycles and when the months change. So I'm like, well, how is it? Why are we not supposed to mess with it? But y'all mess with it to determine what time we're in, what determine time, so-called time or whatever, right? So I was like, okay. But inside many of the religious texts, it speaks about how things were determined, like time, direction, things coming about, whether it's been prophesizing the coming of people who we revere, in religion, and things of that nature was determined by way of using astronomy. So, even in the Christian and Islamic culture, religion, whatever, astronomy was, just when Jesus was supposed to be born, and the people foretold of this prophecy of the coming was, astronomy and stargazing and different kind of stuff was being used. But like I said, the people, the regular people, have been prohibited from using these particular practices in their own daily lives and stuff like that, which I come to know that that's incorrect. Because if you feed me something like what time it is or where I'm at, because we determine direction and things like that from it. How I'm gonna know if I'm going east or west, or how I'm gonna know that you telling the truth about it if I don't know nothing about it. I have no knowledge of astronomy. I have no knowledge of astrology. You know, with the astrology thing, certain aspects of certain personality types and things of that nature. You get information about that. People born in certain times have certain aspects, to their character in a general sense. Like most, it's not everybody in that particular birth time is not exactly the same, but we share aspects, from month to month. People born in these time zones they share certain personality characteristics, in general. But like most things that are considered taboo, we're never really going to know and understand these things in totality, because we've been prohibited from learning these things in the religious culture. I mean, if you live in a place, in a country like I do, you can do whatever. You can do a lot of things. It doesn't mean that it's going to be liked, or and all that, but you can get into it. You know what I'm saying? Without nobody. Well, nah, I take that back. You know what I mean? You just can get into it. On the surface level, ain't nobody gonna mess with you about it. But getting deeper down to it, once people see that you maybe learning about certain things or using certain things in your own personal life, you're gonna get treated different. That's just how I go. But all that being said, I want to read off what the dictionary online says that astronomy is. Astronomy is the branch of science that deals with celestial objects, space, and the physical universe as a whole. And it gives an example of, using it in a sentence, how you can use it. The project is expected to represent a giant leap forward in astronomy. So I guess it's like a sentence being used. The word origin, the Greek, I guess it comes from the Greek, which is astronomos, the Latin, astronomia, and the Old French, which is, in the comparison to English, Old French is astronomy, Middle English, astronomy. So that's the definition of astronomy. Okay, so I would have to say we all learning at the same time. I'm learning, even though I got books on different things. Got a couple books on different things, a couple small books, because I'm in the process of trying to understand astrology, tarot, things of that nature. Because I'm interested in it. I desire to learn. I desire to know about it. So I'm learning, and I'm not being fearful in learning about it. And I carry it just like I carry any other thing in my life. I go after it because this is what I want to do. But I'm also careful. You should always be careful with certain things, because when you dip into certain worlds, you have other aspects, and if there's things that are unknown to you, you can be misused, or you can be led astray or led away from. Let's say my goal has always been to maintain or to establish a nearness to the Most High Creator, Allah. So I'm fearful of certain things in reference to how I deal with it, and how I deal with people who also indulge in some certain practices. Because people through ignorance, people associate, like even with astrology and tarot and things of that nature, they're associated with magic. But if you have next to no understanding of what magic is, you won't. You really would, and you only understand it based on, like, let's say a refutation of it, like saying from the religious aspect, oh yeah, that's magic, or all magic is bad, or all of that kind of stuff. You're gonna maintain a high level of fear about it, or thinking that it's all bad and things of that nature, and I was like that myself. But come to find out through investigation and study, I understand that there was a time in our history where magic and science is synonymous with one another. Just the truth, it just is, you know what I mean? And of course, through reconstruction of history, through reconstruction of religion and spirituality, the people who are always looking at the mainstream thing of things have been pushed away from that. But I understand that has been one of the things that they've used to push the common man and woman away from their true power, and also another way of getting us away from connecting with this source energy, the Most High Creator. And I had to use just basic things in my thought process, about when I started understanding that magic and science was all connected. I would be like, well, damn. There was a time in the mainstream history where they would tell us about certain things, about how people perceived technology, and things of that nature. They would look at technology as satanic or demonic, right? So even up to this day, you have certain groups of people, like let's say the Amish people, because I'm a Pennsylvanian, and I always knew about the Amish people that live in Lancaster and how they live. They live a very basic life. They don't really deal with technology like phones and electricity and stuff like that. So their perception, or how they perceive the usage of technology is just based on a very, very watered down version of their religion and spirituality. But the reality, the fact of the matter is, technology, certain forms of technology. If you would have told me that I could speak on a phone, well, no, not even phone, because I was born into that. But I could look onto a device that everybody has and look at someone speaking in France or Nigeria or Thailand or whatever, and they speaking on a device, and they said, you will be able to watch them speaking at this point in time, not a recording or anything. I would have thought that maybe 30 years ago, I would have thought that was very crazy. That would have been a very crazy concept in my mind, because I was living 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I was living 50 years ago. But what I'm saying is, I was living 30 years ago, and I was an adult, and I was conscious enough to understand just the basic things about life. But the point I'm trying to make is, I would have looked at it as, wow, that's crazy, that's insane. So just imagine, what would a person living, let's say in the year 1776, what would they perceive, let's say, what we're doing right now, me speaking on a live, and people in other parts of the world being able to see it live? What would they have perceived it as to be? Or to hear my voice coming through a little wire into some type of device and putting it on your ear? Or being able to run a device without having wiring, because we have Wi-Fi and things of that nature. These basic things in our everyday reality would be considered witchcraft. It will most likely be perceived as being something satanic or demonic, and something to stay away from. And through the progress or whatever, the slow progress, because I'm gonna call it slow. I'll get back to why I say that in the future or whatever. But we've made certain small progresses, so-called, in our society that we already had in the past, but now we understand it. This ain't nothing satanic. It's nothing demonic. It's science. And it's not, ain't no devil worship or devil, none of that kind of mess. It's just basic astronomy. If you come in and out, hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. But let's just from a perception perspective. But if you look at the information that has been put out to us in relation to religion and spirituality, these people, they tell us that these people didn't endorse the usage of technology and things of this nature. But we got stuff that we always had throughout history, the history of man, real man. We've always had been able to use astronomy and astrology as a means to establish certain things, whether it was marriage, business, agriculture, all of these different things. Astronomy and astrology was used, or both of these things were being used as a tool to determine the best times to do things. The best times, even us and people is doing live. It's probably a better time in the day, a better time, all kinds of things, starting our business and all this different stuff. We can determine the best times to do these things based on astronomy and astrology. So just imagine if we start coming to realize these multiple things. These are just two aspects that have been taken away from us as natural people. These things have been taken away from you for a reason, and you've been programmed and brainwashed to believe the negative things about these aspects to keep you away from them. And now as we are going into knowledge of self, okay, one of the aspects of you having knowledge of yourself is understanding and knowing, let's say, where you lie in the zodiac setup, meaning your zodiac, when you was born and all that stuff, and who you should be with, who your personality best meshes with. When is a good time for you to get married? When is a good time for you to do business? All these different things, right? And these things is relevant, right? And most of the people that's not using it are just ignorant, not in a bad way. Meaning somebody saying you ignorant, you dumb. No, I'm not saying that. You just don't know about it, and you have been conditioned and programmed to not know about it, and also to not even go towards it. You see what I'm saying? So we want to get away from that. We want to get back onto that which is natural to us as a people. And we want to start learning what we should have been learning ever since we was 3-4 years old. As opposed to being sent to school, going through elementary, middle, high school, on into so-called higher learning, into college, and then being able to get a job. But we don't even know how to tell direction. We don't even know how to plant food. You know what I mean? We don't even have any clean water sources. You see what I'm saying? Just the basics of life of what a person living 250 years ago was, what they was able to do. Yeah, I'm in my 50s now, my early 50s as a man. But I know that, let's say, a young boy, 10 years old in 1910 and 1900 and 1890 was probably definitely more knowledgeable about how to survive just in the world, meaning the natural world, than I am. And that's not cool. But we're going to set things straight. I'm going to set things straight with my own personal self. But that just shows you how we've been dumbed down by way of indoctrination through religion, reconstructed spirituality, and secular education. Secular indoctrination, what they call education. And most of us have gotten our secular indoctrination / what they call education in public school. It goes on and on and on. They teach us about who we are, where we came from, and all this different stuff. and most of it is incorrect. Majority of it, depending on from one group of people to the next, it's incorrect, and we believing in the wrong things. Well, I read the definition for astronomy. Now I want to read the definition for astrology. They say in the dictionary online, they say astrology, the definition is the study of the movements and relative positions of celestial bodies interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. They put it in the sentence, how it's used. They said, let's see what astrology can reveal about their romance. Right? Okay, so astrology. So I guess I said a couple words about astrology and how it pertains to when you was born. And, all of that together, how your personality, in a general sense, most people born in let's say in Capricorn, like myself, all of us in general have certain personality type. Same thing with Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, whatever. Going down the line. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, going around, all of that, right? But I forgot Cancer, I think, but yeah, yeah, I think I skipped Cancer. But all of these zodiacs have a great meaning on our lives, and we can get a lot of guidance on how certain things, how we can tap into certain things or lead our lives in certain ways. It's just the bottom line. We've been bamboozled. We've been bamboozled into believing that it's not relevant, or something bad, and it's not true. It's not true. So the best way for someone desiring to be closer to the natural state of man, then they need to start learning about these things. And we're at a time now when the people is being given an option, and then, to go one way or the other with it. It's just what it is, and it always was like that. You know what I mean? In every period of time, and you just got to decide whether you want to remain ignorant or do you want to become informed. And everything that you become informed about, it's not necessarily something that let's say either you're going to indulge in or you're going to implement into your life. People do it every day with their so-called religions. They go right into the church, the masjid, temple, whatever. Wherever they go right in there and they listen to the man or the woman up there talking. And they talking about so many different aspects and so many different things that they so-called supposed to apply to their lives. And they ain't applying it. They disregarding it and they ignoring it. But at least they know that they can get informed about certain things, whether it be verses from a holy book or whatever. Now, you could, and this stuff is, you can't just understand this stuff instantly. You can't just, I'm just talking right now, but I've been reading, listening for some years now. So for me to understand, now it's just getting to the point where it's like I've been urged and moved by the Most High Creator to speak. So I'm trying to articulate basically my little bit of understanding that I have on this particular issue. And also I want to inspire. Stop. You ain't got to be scared no more. We never really should have been scared, but it's just that we've been programmed to have fear through religion, refurbished religion, refurbished spirituality, and the programming that you get from basically public education in public schools, and also our perception of fake history that they have given us, So we just remain. Most of us live in a constant state of fear, especially if we're trying to go after some type of knowledge or learning that we trying to get into. Like if it's something different, if it's off script from what we've been doing. But and it's funny when I was looking up these definitions. I found a word that I never heard of before. I just never heard this word before. That's funny. And I'll be all over the place. But this word is and it's kind of like synonymous with astrology and astronomy, and it's called astromancy. Astromancy. And and it's a noun. Astromancy is I guess the definition of astromancy is divination by means of the stars. Divination. Okay. Well, then the people in the Bible who found out about Jesus coming, they was using the three magi. I can't remember. It's magi. These magi, these learned men, they were using astromancy because they was using it because it was written in the stars, right? It was written in the stars that Jesus was come. That Jesus was coming, right? Hey, that remind me of Stevie Wonder, written in the stars. It was written in the stars for our love, right? Yeah, me and God. But hey, it's all put right in front of your face. The reality of certain things. It's just that the extraordinary average person is going to get into it. And you know, if a person is even watching something like what I'm talking about on here, you've already established yourself as somebody who has some extraordinary aspects to their character already. Because ain't nobody regular, ain't no basic people don't get into this stuff. But I call people to save themselves from the ignorance and the oppression of being misused in certain ways. So I think, I know that in order for us to make an escape from the system in the mind, the mindset system that has been put on us, it's going to take an extraordinary move for us to get away from it. It's going to take, a high level of bravery from an average person to get into it. Because even, in my religion, we was taught that about the coming of time, a certain in time. All the religious people was talking about last days and all this kind of stuff. Whether it's Christian, Judeo-Christian, or Islamic, they all talking about last days type stuff. And the last days they would come, before the coming back of Jesus, which Muslim people believe in also. But the Antichrist. But the Antichrist being one or ones or a system, because we've been living in the Antichrist system. The system that programmed you into believing all of these false things is an Antichrist system. Believe it or not. So, you got to get into the allegorical and the metaphoric and the things, message inside of all of these different redone religions and spirituality philosophies and disciplines. But the bottom line is, when you get into the esoteric and all that, you learn what the Christ is and the Christ consciousness, because they can keep you away from having Christ consciousness if you don't know yourself, or if you be in fear of being informed and getting into information. You got a lot of people talking about multiple different things, and most of us are not masters at any one given thing. I'm not a master of astrology or astronomy. If anything, the closest thing I got to being a master of something is probably being a boxing coach. and I haven't even mastered that, but I'm good at it. But what I'm just saying is, you're gonna have to take a chance with you ain't taking no chance when you informing yourself. You're not taking no chance on education. You're not taking a chance on being informed. That's not no chance. So I don't even. I'm gonna move back from that terminology I was about to use, because it's always better to know than to not know. Because I went years knowing certain things, but I wasn't talking about it. See what I'm saying? But I was able to navigate through this reality without getting less touched by the true evil things that was already out here and that was possibly touching me before I was informed about it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, find out if you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever. Find out what Christ consciousness is. At least it ain't nothing you could go online and easily Google stuff, or you go on YouTube and find a talk, or a quick little 10-15 minute talk about Christ consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And get into it. And the more you educate yourself about these things, the more better you're going to be in your own personal life. It's really about affecting yourself first and saving yourself. And this is something that I've gotten from religion, that, Allah the Most High advises in the book. To first save yourself, and then save your family from a fire whose fuel and many stones. And you could take it literally, like you saving yourself from a hellfire, or a fire, some type of fire that's been established for wicked and evil people. Or you could save yourself from the fire of being burned up in a state of ignorance, and being able to be one of the ones that are being oppressed and misused, and made to have to reside and live in a bad state all your life. So you gotta save yourself first. Save yourself first. You know what I mean? And I'm just here. I ain't nothing. I'm just an average guy. I ain't rich. I ain't. I basically got the same tools that most common people have. I got access to the internet, and I got a clear mind. You know what I'm saying? I got a sound mind. So I choose to use it for my betterment, and I choose to not be afraid anymore. I don't really got no choice, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because most people who that's going in a certain way, they're experiencing difficulties, and these difficulties ain't gonna stop. So you might as well fight back with the weapons that the Most High Creator, Allah, then giving you, and returning back to the Creator is getting back to what we naturally did in other points of time or other dimensions, whatever you want to call it. But this is basically I don't know. This is kind of, I don't know. I really don't know that, but yeah, it's just talking, but it's very important. You know what I'm saying? You can sit around and small talk with people. Let's say in the real world, right? You can sit around and small talk and shuck and jive with people in around the way, in the barbershop somewhere, and before you know it, you could be indulging into something that's bad for you. Or you can sit around the way in the barbershop or whatever and be shooting the stuff, you know what I mean, with people, and be talking about some positive things, and it can move you in a positive direction. So even when you on here on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, there's plenty of talk. There's plenty of good talk for you to get into. That's if you're trying to uplift yourself and trying to elevate. And that's what it is. It's all about elevation. And it's all about elevation and sticking to it. You know, not being afraid of every daggone thing. You know what I'm saying? Every daggone thing. Everything that it seems like everything that there's so much stuff. Now that I'm living in a woke state, it's like everything that you choose to get into, or well, no, not choose to get into, that you possibly could get into, that could really put you in a higher state of consciousness, right? They try to what you call, to scare you away from it. You know what I mean? They try to scare you away from having a learning about astronomy. They try to scare you away from astrology. They try to scare you away from divination. They try to, but even before you even got there, inside of Christianity, they might say you got Protestants fighting Catholics, and Episcopals fighting Baptists. Whatever, I'm just using because I know they different denominations and all that. The same way in Islam, you got Sunnis fighting Muslims. And then, you know, when you look at stuff on television, the average person don't even know what the heck it's about. Hey, hit that like button for me, y'all, if y'all can. They don't really even know. They don't know what it's about. It could be, you don't even know what it's about. And then really you're going to get the perception of whoever putting out the information about it is whether you're going to perceive it how they perceive it. You know what I mean? But it's all wrong. I know it is. It's wrong. I don't even got to speak on it. Because bottom line is, everything at its core is the same. You know what I mean? Now, the evil aspects of all of these religions and forms of spirituality, the evil aspects is when you're using this stuff to either misuse people or to hurt people. You know, you got certain people that get into aspects of spirituality, like magic. And they're using magic against other people. They doing love spells. They doing spells to manipulate people to do things for them or whatever the case may be. This stuff is from the evil aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? The same way with religion. You know, the Christian people, the Muslim people, just on a basic sense. You know what I mean? Using the pulpit and the minbars to make money for themselves, to make money for their groups. But really, the people that's giving their money sitting there on the floor or sitting in the chair, you know, in the Christian church, sitting on the chairs looking up, them people are not benefiting. Them people will be getting ready to get kicked out of their homes, and they can't, you know, they can't receive any kind of assistance. You know, they can't receive any kind of assistance for, you know, for different things, you know, for the problems that they're experiencing. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not a thing that you can just, what's the word? It just takes time. It just takes time to learn. It takes time to go through one thing at a time. But get started. Get into it. You know? I myself, you know, yeah, I used to be a scary dude, right? Not like that, but yeah, like that. Meaning I was scared along the lines of my program. But good thing, I was always like a rebel without a pause. Like, you know what I mean? This is why I was able to get into Islam. Because I always had a certain nature with me. You know what I mean? I'm defiant. So if you do have any kind of defiance in you, then exercise that enough for you to inform and educate yourself about things that you need and that your children is going to need in the future. You're going to have to defy some rules. You know what I mean? And just to be all the way clear about, you know, myself, because I'm only talking, you know, I'm not into any kind of magic or incantations, or I don't do any of that stuff. Though I know it's two sides to it. It's two, you have a good side and a bad side. If anything, I would say that I'm definitely, see the people, the true people and the true children of God, which I know I am one of. We naturally have a natural amount of force and power with us. And this is what have kept us going through our lives. You know what I mean? And this is what has saved me, on my journey, having the strong connection, with God. So this is why when I've been attacked and I've been pursued by the true evil energy and the true people that worship and follow the evil, they haven't been able to take me down. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why they haven't, because I have used as a weapon, I have used astronomy, and I've also used astrology to keep track of myself and to keep track of certain things. And I've been able to keep myself standing. I'm still standing. You know what I mean? And we all, and the ones who understand this particular journey, aspect of their journey, of my journey, but their journey is probably similar. They know what I'm talking about. And it may even be, some people sneak watching, because, on TikTok, you can sneak watch. I got a lot of sneak watchers. They watch without getting on. You know what I mean? But guess what? The Most High Creator, Allah, the original, the one true God, the first, is watching you watch me. And ain't nothing gonna change with that. Ain't nothing gonna change with that. And it's going. And the people who are honest in their actions and honest in their words, they're gonna stick to it. And that's why I call myself and anybody who wants to listen. Be honest in your dealings. Be honest in your dealings with people. Don't be out here trying to misuse nobody. Don't be out here trying to get over on nobody and oppress nobody and try to hurt nobody. What's yours is yours and what's theirs is theirs. And take the high road, or start taking the high road. Just always taking the low road and just trying to see what you are trying to get out of somebody or get out of something. You know what I mean? It's not the best way. And then you got a lot of people out here doing worse than that, trying to hurt people with certain things. Get away from that. Stop. Because believe it or not, hit that like button for me if you come in and out. I appreciate it, because if that's what you want, you're gonna lose. Especially if you after me or anybody like me, you're gonna lose. And you should know about now. All that you have done, and it still ain't work. You know what I mean? You don't even know that what they call it, the hand of God. You just the more you try, the more you strive in that way, the more you become a proof about the hand of God and who is on and who is not on. You know what I mean? And it's very basic. You can just leave people alone. They don't have to agree with you. You see what I'm saying? It's like there's plenty of people out here that don't agree with me, and they can just keep going. Keep going. They don't have to listen to me speak. They don't have to be in my presence. They can easily just leave me alone. Hit that like button for me if you're in here. You see what I'm saying? Just something as basic as that people don't do. People do that. They got that devil nature in them. They go after and try to destroy good people just because they don't agree with them, or just because whatever they talking about or they see them doing or actualizing, it's something that they don't understand yet. So they speak against it, or they do things to mess with these people. And I'm not saying that because, and I'm to be honest with you, I've been going so long with you know, actually my whole life. But being conscious of it, I've been going against certain things in my life for so many years, like enough years for me to understand it just is what it is, and I'm I'm blessed and highly favored. So I just I know how to roll with it. So that's just like anything. That's why it's good that my life took Allah took me into certain aspects of my life. Yeah, I know how to fight. I know how to fight for real. I don't think I know how to fight. So in other aspects of my life, I've developed a fight game. You know, and I just do what I do. You know what I mean? So this is another reason why I'm remaining in a good state. But my biggest weapon is being honest, is and living a clean life. Because there's been times in my life where I was doing not necessarily the best things, really mostly to myself, but just doing the wrong things and just overindulgence in certain stuff, whatever, and it affected me in a negative way. But most of us, we can only learn through trial and error, myself included, because I've always been a hard-headed person, and I've always been, like I said, I've always been a defiant. I've always been a rebel, without a pause. So I've always been that way. So I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, but I've learned. So even if you're trying to get yourself right in life and you're trying to get away from certain things, just keep working at it. But the whole thing is you got to see it. If you see, that smoking cigarettes is affecting your health, it's messing with you, or smoking, I don't know, whatever, just getting high, drinking, or womanizing, or if you're a woman, run around being promiscuous and being a hoe or whatever, and you see that this stuff is affecting your life in a negative way, get away from it. That's what, they ain't all I can say. That's what I'm saying. Back up off of that way of living and get in the process of cleaning yourself up. And for the people that really, I know a lot of people that do bad things, so-called, that really truly resonate with the Most High God, the Most High Allah, the Creator. It resonates strong. These are like a lot of the people that I know that I know for a fact do wrong and have done wrong. They got the best hearts. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that they get, we get stuck. We get stuck in bad cycles, and it's hard for us to get out of these cycles, But like I said, a lot of our weapons have been taken away from us, and this is how we even turn into some of the bad aspects of ourselves that we have become. But if you got enough with you to watch somebody talking what I'm talking about, you winning. And you just take it one day at a time, each day, you fight back each day. And even on some days, like if you find yourself sliding back, or you just make a mistake, that's all part of the process of growing into the one who is super solid, that ain't gonna go back. What you do is you keep going back. You fight back. That's what you gotta do. You know what I mean? That's what you do. And you continue on. You continue on. And educate yourself. Information is the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Information. Iceman, peace, Iceman. Yeah, but hit that like button for me, y'all, if you can. But don't be afraid to know yourself. Get into the knowledge of self. And one of the ways you can do it is through your zodiac. Learn about your astrological zodiac sign. Learn about it. Don't worry about what nobody talking about in church or in the imaginary. Don't worry about that. Because even some of them people in there that's telling you not to do that, they don't know no better, because they don't know nothing. They only know from that. And that is the programming. It's a program. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about, yeah, it just is what it is. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Take a chance. It ain't no chance. You can't take no chance if you really connected with the Most High God. And another thing that I learned in my side of my religion, that a person's action will be judged by their intention. Yeah, right? What is it in Arabic? Innama al-amalu bin-niyat. Your deeds is going to be judged by your intentions, your niyat. So, if you intend good for what you're doing and what you're saying, and you're trying to get next to, close to Allah the Most High, then you're going to accomplish your goal. And even if you do make a mistake, you'll be judged accordingly in that way. So the whole thing is getting away from the mainstream fear factor. You know what I mean? Play another song. I ran that joint, right? That's my joint though. That's when I'm in my I'm in my mystical, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really on my joint. I like that song. This is my joint too. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be you know, it's the path to getting on something better. And I'm really speaking to my hidden observers. You know, my path is unique. Everybody's path is unique, actually. You know what I mean? It's very, very unique. But it's similar to a lot of other people on the same path. You know, meaning like I'm by myself. But how could I get into myself and knowing myself, being overcrowded and over you know, with too much influence, meaning the influence of somebody else's personality, the influence of somebody else's perception of reality and all of that kind of stuff. Some other people's shortcomings manifesting in their everyday life. You know, I could be trying to stop smoking weed, stop smoking cigarettes, or drinking beer, or whatever the case may be, but I still hanging around a bunch of people doing all these things. It's going to be more difficult for me to do it. That's just something real small and slight. But even, you know, people who indulge in vain speech and backbiting, you know what I mean? If you hang around people that's on that, it's going to be easier for you to be on that. It's going to be easy for you to backbite people. It's going to be easy for you to just be on some type of vain speech. This is. And this is something that I already knew, kind of understood from religion. But it's like that's what it is. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be around people with strong beliefs, strong resolve, strong, you know, everything. You know what I mean? Then this strong people is gonna resonate with that. You know what I mean? Taking the high and noble road. This is the people that I desire to be around. And on the negative aspects of my life, the people who was my friends in those times of my life they were strong in that time too, like in that zone. I never really could be around weak people. And, you know, being as though I've made a transition in my life towards true knowledge and truly being upon certain things, I'm only going to be around people that resonate with what I'm talking about and how I'm living. It ain't about just what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I guard myself, you know, and, you know, my energy and all of that. Like, how I live, I I don't know, somebody trying to get in there. And yeah, I don't hey, hit the like button for me. Hit that like button for me if you come in and out. I appreciate it. But yeah, clean up your friend circle and your family circle. Clean it up. You know? Nobody is free of that, of having to do that. Because most of us, all of us have, especially people, if you on the good side of things, if you know, even if a lot of us think we good, we ain't good, right? Yeah, that's what they say, right? Yeah. But if you check yourself long enough and hard enough, you'll realize the things that you is doing wrong, and that's what makes you good. So, but get your why these people trying to come in here? I don't know. Most of if your cousin or your brother or your sister or your mom, your dad, your uncle, aunt, whatever, they hating on you, and they still hating, and now we in the age of Aquarius, if they still hating, then they haters. Leave them alone. Take heed to the signs. All the signs, when you've been given the signs in all the different time zones of your life, they've been giving you the fuel. Well, not the fuel, but they've been showing you like these people, certain individuals being against you or just not being for you. But you don't ever want to believe that, because we always want to we don't want to believe the worst in our own family and friends. And then we start accepting stuff that's beneath us, especially us, if you somebody who's been loyal to your friends and your family and things of that nature. You shouldn't have to accept that. You shouldn't accept it. You know what I'm saying? And you may have to the perfection or the goodness that you want in your life. You may have to develop it. You may have to do it for yourself. You always had to do it for yourself, but you may be more conscious of it now. Yeah, but you know, we gotta strive to put together, the right things. Well, the things that we desire in life, like and it's kind of cliche. It's, people say be what you want to attract, or be what you want to come your way. You got to be that. That's true. It may be a cliche, but guess what? It's true. You dig what I'm saying? Be what you want. You can't be a dishonest and hateful and all of that. You can't be that and then expect that Allah, the Most High God, is going to bless you with somebody in your life. No, that's why I choose to be now in this point in my life. I choose to be the best that I can be, and also my best self every day. And I don't let certain things that used to let's say deter me away from not necessarily doing what's right, but just falling into my lower self, my lower desires. Yeah, that's my son. My son texting me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us been tested with certain stuff, whether it's just certain stuff. Me, I used to always go off track in my, hey, I can't read you, but I appreciate that. I appreciate those likes. I appreciate it. But there was a time when Women used to get me off my track, a lot. And I ain't nothing, a lot of men are like that. Same way with a lot of women, the same way on the opposite side. A lot of times, dealing with the wrong men or dealing with the wrong people, would take them off track. But that's another part of your self-mastery. Once you get on a certain road in the path and you're really being honest about it, then you're going to have to get into self-mastery. And one of the aspects of self-mastery is being able to control yourself. That's why I don't worry about a bunch of stuff, especially when I get confronted with certain people that coming at me with some type of weak-minded, stupid way of thinking, and they still haven't yet mastered themselves enough to control themselves on certain things. Like, you still see these people, and these be like so-called religious people, and you still know and see them out here doing these wrong things, and they try to approach you. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I hope I inspire them. If they still want to come after me, I'm going to inspire them in the right way. Meaning, like, okay, if you want to approach me, then you have to master yourself. And you have to get into some self-mastery. And you know what they're going to start doing? They're going to start getting into it, because you ain't never going to be able to touch me at all if you don't have the ability to control yourself. You see what I'm saying? So then what happens is the energy, the force of God is going to work through me into you by forcing you to get into some self-mastery to approach me. And by the time you reach me, you're going to be in agreement with me. Because through educating and informing yourself, mastering yourself, and doing all these other aspects that maybe I'll talk about in the future, and I have spoken about in other little videos and stuff like that. Once you get into all of that, and then you approach me, by the time you get to me, you're going to be with me. See what I'm saying? So that's another reason why people that's in a high mindset, I'm going to call it, or they woke, so-called, right? You got to always put your best self out there. You got to always, be your best self. You have to have a high character, high level character. You got to be honest and all of that, like, all the time. You can't really be on the low stuff no more. And really, even for you, your own personal self, just like it is for my own personal self, that's my protection. That's my protection. So I can't look at somebody, but I like women. So I still am highly impressed by beautiful women. So I can't let I see something that I like, something that I would like, walk past me and just completely take me off of my square. Because then I will be relinquishing and letting go a level of my protection. You see what I'm saying? So, and in the process of you mastering yourself, you start, what's good for you and what's not. And just because it looks good to you doesn't mean that it's good for you. And just to speak on a particular topic, even about how a lot of the demonic forces are, they're everywhere right now. They've always been around, but what I'm saying is, in this time, a lot of people is under attack from the demonic forces. But a lot of people are suffering from demonic possession because they've been possessed through sexual intercourse. It sounds crazy, but that's the truth. So some of these people that you watching out here that look good to you, they ain't no good. They ain't no good for you. They got demons in them just waiting the demons. They got demons inside of them and entities inside of them just waiting for the opportunity to get a chance to touch somebody like you. So you gotta know who you're dealing with. You gotta check them thoroughly. You gotta know how they living. All of that, man. You can't just be laying down with anybody. That's just another weapon you need to use. That we all need to develop and maintain is self-control, as well as being cognizant of stuff, like being able to see things for what they truly are. You know how us as men, a lot of men, you see a woman, she be saying everything wrong, but she'll look good. And you won't even be caring. You won't be caring that she throwing out all these red flags. And the only thing you be like, I ain't worried about that, because I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. So you don't even know that you ready to get yourself into a whole bunch of mess, touching this girl, this woman, or letting her touch you, and then all of a sudden, something negative is able to get into you through that. But the devil energy that's in her was already talking. It was talking in the whole conversation. Y'all talking. And she was saying everything that she gave you. The devil told you that it was there, but you ain't want to listen because you was busy following your low desires. So I'm just saying, in the basic sense, we all have that. We all have that. We all have that aspect with us. And, everybody's desires ain't the same, or not as strong as others, and all that. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But they exist in everybody. They exist. If you have an enemy, we all have certain opposition. But the opponents, the opponents, they know your weaknesses. So just imagine if you like a rat and you like cheese. You better question every piece of cheese. All of a sudden, you just walking down the street, and all of a sudden, you see a piece of cheese. It's free cheese. It's just cheese sitting there. You should question that cheese. You should be like, damn, is this cheese good for me? Is this something something that I should indulge in, or I should get into? Check yourself. Before you wreck yourself, right? That's real. That's real to real. And I ain't going. I'm just saying, we all deal with the same things. We all deal with the same things. You know what I mean? We all deal with desires. We all deal with that aspect of of our personalities. You know what I mean? But in order to be like get into your own personal superhero status, it always comes by way of self-control and discipline. And I just know that applies to many different facets of life. Even if you're going after education, you're going to have to be disciplined. You're going to have to sacrifice some time to whatever kind of craft or profession or trade you want to master. You're going to have to invest time in it. The same way with anything, you know what I mean? Same thing with anything else. If you want to master yourself, you're going to have to practice some form of abstinence. If you want to get in shape, you're going to have to abstain from junk food. That's just big. You're going to abstain from junk food, and you're going to have to invest some time into some training and some workouts in order for you to get in shape. You can't just talk about it and think that it's just going to be something you're going to be able to do just because you're thinking about it. You're going to have to make some time for it. So everything else is the same way too. Make some time for your success, your spiritual success, your mental success, just like for your physical success. And also, we all know that working hours or hustling hard or whatever the case may be, just working hard, period, for the financial aspects of life. Hit that like button for me. If you in there, hit that like button for me. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And you know you're gonna have to grind hard and you're gonna have to work. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And but that's what I advise myself to do, and I advise anybody who wants to listen. Hit that like button for me. If you come in and out, hit that like button for me. Yeah, but yeah, I think I'm ready to dial out. But anybody who's watching, I appreciate you taking some time out to listen to what I had to say. The subject of the day was astronomy and astrology. Get into it, learn about it. It's real, and it's something for you. All men, all women should know about their own self. And one of the ways of knowing your own self is knowing where you fall into the whole astronomical and astrological setup of things. So start learning about yourself. And even get into your life path numbers and all that kind of stuff. Numbers, that's good, all of that. Even more so, you got people, everybody born in a certain zodiac has a birthstone. I don't know all the birthstones for all of the different zodiacs, but I know my birthstone. My birthstone is the garnet stone. So that's I advise everybody to get into that and start knowing more about themselves. And hopefully I'll dial in a little later on. Peace.